The PSP is just incredible. Sony's debut handheld was a technical marvel, showcasing the idea that a portable system can have massive processing power behind it. To add to the horsepower, you could play high-quality music, utilize USB connectivity, play games and movies via the UMD disc format, and from PSP 2000 models onward, you could even output PSP video via component cables. Think of it as a Nintendo Switch before the device ever existed. Sadly, while the PSP is still loved, better options now exist to play PSP games on, including the PlayStation Vita, handheld PCs such as the Steam Deck, retro devices from China, and even the PlayStation TV. Speaking of PCs, PPSSPP is a fantastic emulator that's been around for so long now, it's the go-to PSP emulator for most people. Even your mobile phone can use it. In that case, I want to see how the PSP is holding up against PPSSPP on PC, considering all of its enhancements, allowing PSP games to look and run their best on modern platforms. For testing, the PSP in this video used the Sony Official Component cables, and its video output was at 480p progressive scan mode, which was then doubled to 960p thanks to the GBS-C. PSP games appear small on the display when doing this. For the sake of fairness, I zoomed in the image to full screen. It makes it easier to test the differences. As for PPSSPP, I used the Vulkan backend and used 4K output or 8x to increase the PSP's output by a massive amount. I also used all the features and settings you see on screen now. Some games will also get a performance boost in the frame rate, a nice bonus. The laptop running PPSSPP in question was my M1 MacBook Pro 16 using the M1 Pro chip. With that, let's see what PPSSPP can do against real PSP hardware. Let's begin with a Japanese exclusive game. Ultraman Fighting Evolution 0 is a fighting game and the last one to date in the Ultraman series. Two giant things fight against each other on a decent sized map, causing chaos and destruction as the action heats up. It's not the best fighting game, but the concept is so bizarre it's actually addictive to play. As for real PSP, it looks decent considering the limitations of the PSP output. PPSSPP is next, and it transforms the game's graphics and really makes use of the enhancements on offer. You can see some low quality textures really stick out on PPSSPP, but on the whole, I did prefer playing the game on PPSSPP. It also felt a bit more responsive, at least on my laptop. As a huge Ridge Racer fan, Ridge Racer 2 on PSP is awesome, even if it didn't do too much different from its predecessor. With this in mind, the game is a graphical showpiece for the PSP, showcasing good texture work, good car details, nice special effects, and some pretty sweet music too. I find the video output works well here. PPSSPP swoops in and shows how 2025 technology can transform a game like this. Although the texture work suffers slightly from the 4K upscale, the differences between the two are clear. PPSSPP makes this game look clean and perhaps even more beautiful. It's a delight to see the title get such a nice boost in the graphics. Both also felt good to play if you were concerned about input lag. Tekken 6 is my go-to title for showcasing the differences between PSP and PPSSPP. I know they look a little blurry, but on the whole, I enjoy both the gameplay and the graphics considering how Bandai Namco managed to make this port possible. Of course, PPSSPP gives us a transformative graphical upgrade, seeing details look smooth and stand out unlike the PSP video output. The two look well apart from each other, as if I was comparing this on the PlayStation 4 or something. So many little details I noticed on PPSSPP once 4K was active. The gameplay is solid too and feels great, in case you were worried about the input lag. This title is a 2D beat-em-up game that only saw a Japanese release. I actually found some enjoyment in this title. Yes, it is a bit simplistic and a tad too loud, but there's a charm about the game that kept me playing, and well, it looks quite interesting. 2D sprites on 2D backdrop suits the PSP's video output, making it feel at home when shown on a TV screen. As for PPSSPP, I think the upscale is not all that great here. We do see clearer graphics in the sprites, but the backgrounds don't upscale so well using this method, and the graphics stick out like a sore thumb. The PSP blended both methods of graphics better for me. Personally, I would rather play this on the PSP. There was a game I did see a difference with using 2D sprites, and that game was Guilty Gear XX Reload. On PSP, the game using the PSP screen, using the normal screen mode, looks pretty good. On the big screen, the graphics don't hold up so well, and many details are too blurry to appreciate. Thankfully, the gameplay and music are still fantastic here, and this PSP version was the best way to play Guilty Gear on the go. When PPSSPP had its turn, it absolutely took me by surprise. Look at the two side by side. How is it doing this? With 2D graphics no less. Details that were blurry or seemingly non-existent on PSP show up in full force on PPSSPP. The emulator footage looks more like the PS2 version, but enhanced with the 4K output. It goes to show that some 2D games can benefit from PPSSPP's enhancements if the graphics allow for it. Here we have Initial D Street Stage on PSP. It's one of the best games released in the anime series. When you play, you will have to get used to the interesting handling characteristics the title uses. You must use the brake as little as possible, and using a combination of throttle and backing off will allow the car to get faster and faster around the course. The game looks pretty good. A bit average, but definitely much better than some games released on the PSP in 2006. I also cannot forget the music. It's just so good with the typical Eurodance soundtrack the series uses. PPSSPP improves on the graphics further and now looks akin to an early PS3 game with a smooth output for the visuals. Sadly, every 30 seconds or so, the title would freeze for a brief moment on the emulator. I used Vulkan, and maybe I should have tried OpenGL instead for this game. If this fixes the brief freezes, I'd recommend playing this unique Japanese racing game on PPSSPP. Here's Gundam Battle Royale. This Japanese-only game is a third-person arena shooter and it's quite fun. I admit the controls are a bit awkward, owing to the lack of a true analog stick or two, but once you get a good feel for the game, you'll be enjoying the experience. I even enjoyed seeing the anime characters popping up on the screen. Also, Gundam is awesome, right? When switching to PPSSPP, the graphics truly show an almost next generation upgrade. The game looks like a PS3 title now, but at 4K output. The controls were better, thanks to having a true analog stick at my disposal, making the experience more rewarding. Either way, you should give this title a look. Now we try Gran Turismo for the PSP. On real PSP, the game is a stunning achievement, looking similar to Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2. There's cutbacks and the graphics do look a bit smaller, however, on the handheld display, Gran Turismo is a true demonstration of the PSP's power. PPSSPP, as you guessed by now, really enhances the graphics. It reminds me of Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2, but less jaggy looking and with slightly lower texture quality in places. The cars are the star of the show here, and decals that were hard to see on PSP show up easily on PPSSPP. Playing on PPSSPP helps with handling, as the ability to use an analog stick makes the game even more fun. Honestly, PPSSPP takes the cake here, although I still find the game very impressive on real PSP hardware. This is a fighting game which only saw a Japanese release. As you can see, the title uses nice shell-shaded graphics and I enjoy the action on screen. It has a stylish look which makes it stand out on PSP. However, the title has frame rate problems, hardly staying consistent, and the controls are a bit slow and take time to get used to. It's not a bad game once you figure out the fighting mechanics, but this needs some improvements. Enter PPSSPP and almost immediately the game sees big gains against real PSP hardware. The frame rate is locked to 60 frames per second, the gameplay is smoother and more responsive, and the 4K output benefits the character graphics, although the backdrops do look poor by comparison. Despite this minor issue, I would recommend trying this title, especially using PPSSPP. Here's a rhythm game from the popular Project Diva series, and this is the Extend version. Released only in Japan for the PSP, you have to hit buttons in sync with the music, hitting the buttons on these prompts in time to the music played. I wasn't so sure about the game at first, but the soundtrack, colourful visuals and simple gameplay had me captivated during my playtime. I was looking forward to the next song, wondering what kind of genre and sound might play next. PPSSPP improves the graphics further, and the game does look very good indeed. Otherwise, there isn't much to see here because the gameplay is the same, as is the frame rate. let's see how Dariusburst fares on the two platforms. I do quite like the Darius series of shoot 'em up games, and this is by far my favourite of the moment. Great music, good design, great shooting mechanics, and a solid challenge for those who dare to give it a go. It was only released in Japan on the PSP before seeing an international release on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. On PPSSPP, the graphics get a nice overhaul and look possibly to what a PS3 version of the game might have looked like. Everything has a smooth look to it and gets rid of the PSP's slightly hazy appearance to make the picture clear as glass. Right folks, I tested many more games. Listen out for the sound quality differences between the two platforms, and I will see you at the end.
13班。
Man, you saved me!
I need to exercise more.
Yeah! Ha! 面倒だ。一気に行くぞ。風よ。風よ。
to enjoy this.
I've got something on the radar. It's big, and it's headed your way. What on earth is that thing? I don't know, but our guns won't do a thing to that armor.
Launch the jet skis, boys! Take the boat so we can recover the cargo.
I'm gonna whoop you.
あとは俺に任せろ。そうか、お前だな、ココラのビーストの親玉は。よし、今日行くぞ。
いつまで遊んでいるつもりなの？
Ready? Fight!
どうかしら。モンスター効果発動。行くわ。モンスターを特殊召喚。バトルを。戦いの中で分かり合いましょう。モンスターで攻撃。
よっと速攻魔法を使うぜ。
ターンを終了。
よーし、私のターン。ドローなんだから。モンスターを伏せるんだから。ターンエンドなんだから。
私のデュエルを。私のターン。ドロー。ここでそれではモンスター効果発動。
For 2025, PPSSPP is pretty much the choice of PSP emulation, and it's no surprise. The emulator is fantastic in what it does for PSP titles, and with so much access to handheld PCs, retro devices and even PSP games on the PS5 store, there's little incentive to use real PSP hardware. For me, the PSP is a bittersweet handheld. It remains my favourite today, and using it is a treat. I still adore using it, and if you mod one, like mine here, the device is an epic companion device. The only real downside to real PSP hardware is the battery situation. Sony official batteries are almost gone now, and third-party alternatives are not good right now. This makes it hard to recommend a PSP since you'll be forever grappling with bad batteries if your Sony one has bit the dust. If you are prepared to put up with that, the PSP is still a wonderful handheld in 2025. What did you folks think of the comparison? Would you pick PPSSPP over real PSP hardware? Tell me in the comments, and I will see you soon.